What's good, everyone? Today I'm going to be bringing you tips and tricks for the GPO Battle Royale mode, and mostly this is going to be towards the solo plays, not really squads or duos. But anyways, let's just hop in the tips and tricks. So the first tip I recommend is to put 450 in strength and 450 in defense. If you don't know, AGZ does this, and I think it's a really good strategy. Basically, you deal 40 M1 damage, and you deal like 75 with the gut punch, and it's a great combo extender. And it really helps out if you don't get a good weapon at the start. And for the 450 in defense, you get almost 1.6k health, which is really good at the start when you have no items as well. And then when you put items on it as well, you get close, you get like 1.9k health. It's really good. I just really recommend it. I think it's a great start. Of course, I do recommend using a stat point reset to reset your stats afterwards once you get good loot. But at the start, it's a really good start. So for the next tip, I highly recommend landing in Zeba Town. Of course, Lucky Zone is pretty good as well. It really depends where Lucky Zone is. If Lucky Zone is in like a mountain, please don't land there. It's really bad. But if the Lucky Zone is bad, I really recommend going to Zeba Town, just because you can get really good loot quickly, and there's a lot of chests. And especially in that one cave area, there's a lot of rare chests in there. It can really help out at the start of the game. So if you see here, I got really good loot just by landing in Zeba Town. And I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, come on. It's a pretty good start. And I think it's a great town to start off with. You get good loot quickly. I think it's one of the best places to land at the start. Of course, if there's a lot of people that land here, the second place is Dixie Town, I would recommend. That also has good chests in there. And yeah, let's go to the next tip. For this next tip, I've got to say it. I do not recommend using bomb in the final zone. And I know what you're thinking. The ult is really good in the final zone. It'll just blow everyone away. Honestly, right now, I think a lot of people have learned to counter it. And especially in solos, you'll just end up killing yourself and you won't even get the win. A lot of people, yeah, like I said, a lot of people learn to counter it. They'll just go out the storm for a little bit and then go back in once your explosion's done. It's really not a good strategy anymore. I think a lot of people have just learned how to counter it very well. It's really not an optimal strategy. I will say bomb is still a good fruit if you like put a lot of stats in the devil fruit. I'm not saying you don't have to use it. I'm just saying for the last zone, the ult really isn't that good anymore. I will say in squads, the ultimate is still good in squads because you got people protecting you and all that. But in solos, the bomb ult is really not the move. So for this tip, I recommend using Bari in the final zone over bomb. Bari is a super good fruit, especially in the final zone. The one Bari barrier move, it can push people out of the storm really far, and it can be hard for them to get back in the storm. And Bari also has that one cup move. I forgot what it's called, but you can trap them in the storm with that, and they will guaranteed to die. I will say if you do find a legendary fruit or like a Logia, I would much rather you eat the legendary fruit over Bari. But if you don't got good loot, Bari is, I think, the #1 fruit that you should eat. I will say Bari is not the greatest for PvP wise, but it'll get the job done. I think Bari is still capable of holding its own. So yeah, let's go to the next tip. So for this next tip, I recommend using Mero if you are a good PvPer. The reason I didn't Well, the reason this kind of contradicts what I said in the last tip is because I would recommend using berry if you're not a good PvPer. But if you are a good PvPer, I would recommend using mero like at the start and at the mid game, and then switch to berry at the last zone. But basically, mero has extremely good combos. It You can almost kill someone with mero just by itself. Mero is a really nutty fruit, honestly. But that's, of course, if you are a good PvPer. If you are not a good PvPer, I would stick with berry. So that wraps up all my tips and tricks for the Battle Royale mode. If you made it this far, I would really like it if you liked and subscribed. It keeps me motivated to keep more videos out. Yeah. I hope these tips help you out with the Battle Royale mode. Hope you get good loot if you do win. And yeah. Hope this helps you guys. See ya.